So my project was on program improvement, and this uses a lot in schools to make sure they are working up to par, let's say it like that. And my name is Darren Bangle, so here we go. So, the definition and description of program improvement. So what they did this year is the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, requires all states to implement statewide accountability systems based on challenging state standards and annual statewide progress objectives, ensuring that all groups of students reach proficiency. Let's say like. So, what this pretty much means is they're testing everybody, making sure that everybody is doing their part in the school and making sure the students are doing well. And what this means is if a student does not, if the school doesn't pass, then the local educational agency will have the school go on this program improvement for a year. And what this does is it kind of gives them a way to help them out so their students can hopefully pass. And the schools must take an adequate yearly progress report every year so they don't move farther down the PI status. And PI stands for Program Improvement. So, what this means is there's different levels, and I'll go to the next page. So you can kind of see here, the first year they get onto it pretty much is just making sure that they're gonna get better. They're gonna give them some more money. They're gonna try and change the school plan, and it kind of gets worse. Like the school gets worse or more like restrictions. Let's say it like that. The farther more years they go past. So as you can kind of see, each year there's farther things. So like P year 2, they start to notify the parent that the status of the school, because whenever a school gets in program improvement, all the students have an opportunity to move schools or change schools. So what this means is a lot of students might move if they feel like this school is not teaching them up to par. And the more times you get put in this PI role, the worse it gets. So let's kind of look to the big one is probably when you get to PI year 5. That's when it starts getting your score has been in hasn't been going up to par and hasn't been passing the tests for about 5 years now. And what they will start doing is they'll pretty much start replacing most of the staff. They'll get rid of the principals. They'll try and get more new people or better teachers or better principals in there to change the environment of the school to hopefully to make it better. And what other places do is the state sometimes takes over, and would be terrible. The state would have control of the whole school, but in California they don't do that. But in other states that would be possible. Also, as you get farther down on like PI year 4, if you look at this, they have a section that says reopen school as a charter. That's one thing that school might do. They might kind of close and change how the school is going to run and change it up so that they can be a better school instead of being in the PI role. So each year you get some money, and you have to reserve some of it for the PI movement to try and get a better staff, or for the staff to watch some professionals to make sure that they're doing what they should be doing. And like you can see, each year it gets worse. So you got to make sure that the schools have to make sure they're on top of it. So in 2014-2015, they decided that the California Department of Education will not be doing any adequate yearly progress to elementary or middle schools anymore. So how this works is no school will exit or enter the PI. So if a school is already in the program improvement, then they will stay there for the next year also, instead of being tested and to see if they would come out. So this and that's only for elementary and middle school, and this also means that if you are not in there, you're not going to be in there the next year. So it pretty much, the schools will stay at status quo. They'll stay where they're at for an extra year. While in high school, they're still doing this. They will be tested, and some of the testing they get are the California High School Exit Exam, with the KC, and also the California Alternate Performance Assessment, which is CAPA. And those ones will test how good the high school is doing. And if the high school is not doing what they should, then they'll be going still into program improvement and trying to help the teachers out, help the principal, and make the school to a better school it should be. So this will be beneficial for hopefully high schools to get on track so that the students will learn what they really need to learn and not be slacking off during the year. So, the description of importance of this PI rule. Well, it's pretty important because it helps the schools to make sure that all the kids are learning what they really need to. But like I was saying, all schools, if they are a PI school, must give their students an option to transfer. And that could really lower how many people are at the school, which means they won't get as much money. So PI is not a very good thing to be in. And the school must also contact the parents so they know that their students is not in a school that's succeeding as well as others. And this is important because it requires all high schools to teach to a high standard and to teach the students what they need to know instead of just teaching what they feel like. So this will kind of keep the high schools on track. Now, educators. This has like a good and bad thing. So program improvement affects the teachers that are not teaching as well as they should. So it might fire the bad teachers, but they're kind of hoping that the good teachers get rewarded. And they'll start firing them, and good teachers can move up in the school. So they're kind of hoping they might be able to go to the principal or work their way up. And from this, it kind of makes the educators want to teach only higher levels because they have when they're teaching lower levels, they have a fear of losing their jobs because lower students might not do as well. So it's sometimes not the teacher's fault, but in this program improvement, they might see it as the teacher's fault for not teaching the students as well, but some of the students are just too low, so that can kind of go either way. So California Department of Education responsibilities. So what they have to do is they have to post student achievement data to the website so the students can see. So this is what they can see how their school's doing and everything. They can offer technical assistance, and they will help to make sure that school is on track and has funding. So that's pretty much just the department's responsibilities. So some facts. So all schools do not want to be known as a PI school. It's not a very good reputation. The schools in PI must provide transportation for the students that choose to leave the PI school. So that's huge. So the school that is in the program improvement must give transportation for the students to go to a different school. So that's wasting a lot of their money and can change how many people are going to the school too. And also later on, the state can dictate how and what is taught in every classroom. So the teachers don't really have a say. One thing that my opinion is the PI is based on testing once a year. So it's not really a fair representation of what an individual teacher does, but out of the whole group, because the teacher from the year before might not have taught him. So when you get these kids that are not up to par, you might not know what to do with them. You might try and teach them what they need to know, but they just are so low that it's not really your fault. So I believe there should be like a pre and post test given to the same students in the same class in the same year. So what they learned, what they knew in the beginning of the year, and what they know at the end of the year, and then see, did that teacher actually do what they were supposed to? And that kind of is a little better than testing them based on what a different teacher has taught. So that's pretty much what program improvement is all about. Here's my works cited. I used a lot from California Department of Education and pretty much figured it all from there. Okay, have a good day. Bye.